The Gallows Act 2. So, as I promised in my Gallows review, I am going to review the second movie as well. So, I have a completed series on my channel. If you haven't seen my review for The Gallows, it's on my channel right now. It is quite a long review. There was a lot to discuss, and same here with The Gallows Act 2. I've taken 3 pages of notes for this review, so this is going to be quite a long review as well. So I'd suggest, I don't know, grabbing some snacks, grabbing a drink or so, and and let's get into The Gallows Act 2. So I rented this movie for $5 off Amazon Prime, and I was quite excited going into Act 2 because it's been a number of years since I've actually watched The Gallows Act 2. I remember I watched it when it first came out in 2017. I think The Gallows came out in 2015, and Act 2 came out 2 years later, I believe. It was either 2017 or 2018. I can't see it being any later than that. The point is we got a sequel that to a movie that not many people liked. I know that there is a handful, there is a fan base for the first movie, and I am a part of that. I enjoyed the first Gallows quite a bit. I go in depth in my reasoning in my review if you want to check that out. So yeah, let's get into my notes here because there is quite a lot to cover in this review. So my first point, what do I want to start with? So the opening scene. So basically, a group of kids, they stream this challenge called Charlie Challenge, where you have to read the Gallows play on camera, and weird stuff like happens like as you do so. And this is quite a popular challenge. Like the videos are titled like Charlie's Challenge, or the people who do it. Like the videos seem to be really popular. Like there is a fan base and there is a cult following for this type of stuff. And this type of stuff, if you Google like creepy challenges or like creepy house like visitings or whatever. If you actually YouTube that shit, like people do that shit all the time. People try to outdo themselves with their content to get views and to get subscribers. And so I thought that was I thought that was a really interesting touch on this sequel, was the whole social media context of it all. I really like that. I recently watched a movie called Followed, which kind of deals with the same type of thing. But like the difference with Followed was this guy who goes to one of America's most haunted hotels, and basically basically the past is coming alive, and so he's experiencing that himself, and that was like a really damn good movie. And because like that's something like people do, like people visit like haunted places around the world. Like people would travel like big distances like just to get views and subscribers. So I thought that is a very realistic take on this movie. What else? So, and then Marcus opens the door, and then all the lights, they just stop. They just stop moving and flickering, and all that. And the group of kids who are doing the Charlie Challenge, they blame it on Marcus here, who this is where a few of my problems come in with the opening scene. So first of all, there was only one person upstairs, and everybody else was downstairs doing the Charlie Challenge. So how can one person cause 7 lights to flicker? Like that's like like depending where you're standing, like two or three lights, like sure, but seven all at the same time, like a bullshit. Like Charlie was there. So plus I don't know how you can blame that on your friend. Like it's like that's just not possible. Um, so and then what else? And then one of our characters from who were downstairs, they go outside and they see one of their friends. They see one of their friends on a swing, and aside him is the Gallows play, and then what happens? And then he looks out in the woods, and this is quite an eerie shot. Like the first time that you look at, like you don't see it, but then when you look at it again, you look closely, like Charlie is behind the tree, and the camera like zooms in on it, but it starts out like as a wide shot first, and it's an eerie shot of like Charlie looking at this student or this character. And then we have our first kill of the movie happen, where Charlie wraps the swing chain around the character's throat, and then Charlie walks into frame, and then the character is confronted by Charlie's presence, like he sees him before he dies, and then it cuts to the opening titles, The Gallows, Act Two. And then we're introduced to our main character through a vlog, and like what we learn that she's a vlogger, and we learn that she wants to hit 1 million followers, because I think at the start of this movie she's only on like 200 and something subscribers. And so yeah, she wants to I guess gain more popularity, and she wants to get more people watching her content. And this is also her first day of starting high school, and like her first day, she's trying to find in, she's trying to be herself, she's trying to I guess find the right friendship group for her, and like in her character, what's her name? I did not write her name here. Anna. So yeah, we learned that that she wants to become a great actress when she is older, and so one of her first classes is drama, and she's the first student to put her hand up to like standing up and performing like a piece of the play. And she's a new student to the class, and everybody else just can't care shit about drama. Like they're here because it's an easy class, and when Anna gets up on stage, like everyone, as she's performing, like nobody's paying attention to her. Like talking among themselves, and everybody's on their cell phones, and they aren't listening to what Anna has to say. And so like this kind of I guess freaks out Anna a little bit, because this comes back to her backstory, where her parents didn't really pay pay enough attention um, uh, pay enough attention to her, because her stepsister was always like the golden child, was always the favorite, and she got all the attention. And so now that Anna is actually trying to do something with her life, it's just like seeing what she's seeing in front of her, seeing everybody not listen to her. It just kind of like it brings back those memories of her parents not listening to her. What else? And since Anna is the new person here, like this let's just say this isn't a really accepting school. All the teachers seem nice, but it's just the students seem very, like they're always bumping into her, they aren't listening to her. So it's kind of like it's not on the new girl, that was the saying. And so we see her sitting by herself, having her her lunch, and then she sees this bullying situation go on just across from her on a table in front of her, and she goes to help out, and she's basically saying, are we still meeting up at 8 o'clock? I'll be at your house at 8 o'clock tonight to study. Because there's these two bullies in the movie that give him a hard time because he's trying to ask out this girl, and these two guys are just lowering his confidence at asking her out, and he's kind of having like a hard time, and he doesn't need this bullshit from these two guys, and so Anna steps in to help that situation get resolved. And these guys learn that this guy is actually like good with the girls and all that, and then they kind of stop picking on him. But that's the only time we really see that going on. But it also it sets up kind of who Anna's character is. Like, she isn't like everybody else. Like, she's genuinely nice. She's the one that's willing to put herself in a scenario that she may feel uncomfortable doing. But then that scene also has a message about bullying isn't right. It doesn't matter what the scenario is. It's not right at all. It doesn't matter if it doesn't matter if you're different. Different is good. So yeah, I mean, I think the movie has a small scene that does I think say a lot about today's generation, especially with bullying going on. Just we always want that one person just to step in and help us. And so yeah, I think that scene, it does touch on that. And then Cade sees this situation going on. And he walks over and introduces himself to Anna, and then only a few minutes later, I think it was the day after, or it could have been that afternoon, where Cade asked her out on a date, and there's a friendship going on there, and since her personality is very welcoming, whenever the opportunity comes around for a friend, she would accept it. Cade is the first person at this school to walk up to Anna and actually acknowledge that she exists, and have a little chat to her, hi, how's it going, how's your day, and all of that. And this starts our main relationship in the movie between Anna and Cade. And it was either that afternoon or it was the day after, where Cade asked Anna out on a date, and then that friendship at the start of the movie turns into a boyfriend and girlfriend relationship, which I kind of see why, since the movie is only, I think, 89 minutes long. I understand they do have to kind of rush that relationship, but at least for me, not many relationships are really that fast. The day after you actually meet someone, you ask them out. There is such a thing as love at first sight, but sure, dude. Whatever floats your boat, and the answer from Anna is yes, and so they go on a date. They go and get ice cream, and this is where the movie starts to fall on me, I guess. This is a relationship in the movie that I really felt did not work at all. The actor who plays Cade, he is terrible in this movie. There is maybe a scene or two where he does give a good performance. There are a few scenes at the beginning of the movie where there's an okay performance from him. But yeah, there's not much of a personality to Cade. There's no charisma. He's just a very like dull. He's giving a very dull performance in his portrayal of Cade. But yeah, then that's not my only problem. It's their relationship. Like the relationship, it doesn't really have much to do in the movie. Like there is a integral thing Cade does have to do at the end to help Anna out with some information, with some undiscovered information. So Anna takes on the Charlie Challenge, which is what we saw in the opening of this movie with the group of students. That was the opening scene was setting up, I guess, these what direction the story was going to go. Um, and so and the opening scene it also showed us that the Charlie Challenge that it is a video a lot of people want to see because I think in the opening scene the students had I think it was like 468 people watching their live stream, and then I have a point underneath here saying a previous Charlie Challenge video had 15k views. So this is obviously like a trending video. This is a challenge that a lot of people like do for the views and do for the fan request, I guess. So Anna takes on the Charlie Challenge. What else? So the 15k Gallows play makes a better onstage actor. Yeah, okay. So the Gallows after the first night of doing the Charlie Challenge, where nothing strange really happened. She read the book and yeah, that was really about it. Nothing strange has happened yet, and so the next day when Anna goes into drama and she goes up on stage, she performs the Gallo as her. She performs the Gallo as her piece. And so when she's like up there, like Charlie takes control of like her speech and her words. Because then at the end you see her shake like she was under a spell, like she was under Charlie's control. Um, and then like after that like she's became like the best actress like in the class, like she has immediately become like popular in this class, like everybody is praising her performance, like saying like how did you do that, that is amazing, and all of that. The cinematography, I'll quickly talk about that. So the cinematography, so the first Gallows was found footage. The Gallows Act 2 is shot a lot more professionally. This is a very different style from the first one. This is shot like a Hollywood produced horror film, and while I will say I do like that. I'm someone that like I do like some found footage. Like I'm not like a found footage fanatic, but I like films like Blair Witch, Paranormal Activity, like all of that. So I don't mind the found footage style, and I thought the first Gallows used it really well. I think for a sequel, when you have like more money at your disposal, I think it is good to try something different. And I think the new style, or the new take on the cinematography in this one, I think it is utilized quite well, because it does make the movie. I guess, a little more entertaining than the first one. So yeah. What else? So Anna gets home and checks her view count, and her audience, it's blowing up. Like the comments, the views, it's all like blowing up. Everybody is loving her Charlie challenge. Like everybody's like saying like it's awesome, do more Charlie vids. And so that night Anna films, I guess, part 2 of the Charlie challenge. Um, And during the Charlie challenge, an item gets thrown across the room, and so she puts her second video up of the Charlie challenge, and people are loving it. Like, people want to see more of the Charlie challenge. Like, people are loving the creepy videos that she's doing, and her subscriber count is popular than ever, and she's finally made an audience for herself. Um, and like, this is something that I can't confirm, but like, I swear when Anna's stepsister or mum, I forget which character it was, but like, she goes into Anna's room, and she looks at like the Gallows like book, and like an information like she's putting together about the Gallows place. She's like highlighting little stuff and like writing little notes beside it. I swore I saw a Resident Evil poster in her room. Like, I swear I saw Milia Jovovich on her wall, but like, I might be mistaken. But yeah, that was just something that I caught out of the corner of my eye. Happens after that, and then Anna gets sent a link from Almost Famous 99 called Sneaky Hangman, and a photo of her and other people who have done the challenge, and there's URLs and video links of people doing the Charlie challenge and seeing the aftermath. And I'm just saying, some of these photos and videos, if that's not to say that these types of sites don't exist. Like, those sites would be taken down. I'm sure of it. But it's all fictional, so like, it does make sense for the movie. But yeah, like, there's a whole site dedicated to hardcore Charlie fans, with all the photos and the videos of people who have done the challenge, and information of Charlie's death and Charlie's daughter, um, and all of that. And so Anna is looking through this site, and she comes across a photo of her when she was doing the challenge. The first night, she comes across a photo of her, and she's like a little freaked out, and then we see Charlie jump in front of the door in the background of the photo, which we didn't see that on the first part of the Charlie challenge that Anna did, but Charlie has a presence, because there is a scene later on when these two girls come up to Anna and say "Oh, I am a big fan of you. I love your Charlie vids. Can we see more?" And they ask if we can take a photo with you, and she says yes. And then they say something that puts Anna very on edge. Where they say, what do they say? We are so excited, Charlie has chosen you, or something. And then it's all kind of I guess in a way become clear to her. But yeah, you're talking about the whole Charlie jumping in front of a door. That was specifically made for a jump scare effect. And it's only from there that this movie has some of the worst and the most idiotic jump scares I have seen. These jump scares were not scary because it was so obvious, because you could just tell, because the music dimmed down and then 5 seconds later, bam, it was so obvious. And it's just and not only that, it's so when it's going to come. You can literally count it down, and your timing is 100% correct. And it's just like the movie. It over relies on jump scares, which is something I felt like the first movie did so well. Is it didn't rely on jump scares to scare you. It relied on sound to scare you. Um, but yeah, I don't like how Act Two it relies more on jump scares to scare the audience, because like jump scares they are just old now. Like we have since Insidious and even before, jump scares are old now. Like they aren't effective. Like putting a loud noise over something, like it's not scary. It's just old now. But one thing I will give credit about the scares is there are no fake out jump scares. There is no cat jumps out of the darkness and a loud burst of noise over the fake out scares. I absolutely cannot stand. I hate them in horror movies. But yeah, there's just all of these scares in this movie, you can see coming from a mile away. For some of them, there is a good build up to some of them, but then the end payoff is just it is terrible. So, and it's not scary, because if you have seen enough horror movies, like it's not scary, because this movie follows that the same this movie follows the same jump scare routine of the music dimming down, having, I don't know, a character walk around a corner, bam. Actually, no, there is one fake out jump scare where Anna turns a corner, and I think she switches a light on, and she sees her stepsister. That's probably the only fake out jump scare in the movie. So, but yeah, the jump scares are not effective or scary in the least in this movie. Like I said, there's some good build up, but then in the end, it's all about execution and payoff, which this movie does not do well at. And a lot of them, there's one jump scare in particular with Anna is imagining Cade's death, and then Charlie just jumps in front of frame. What is the purpose of doing that? Yes, we know Charlie did it. Do you have to make it that goddamn obvious? That. That's a scene. That's a scene I really got on my nerves when watching this, because it's so in your face. Charlie, he just jumps in front of the camera. What's the purpose? Is it a reasoning I'm missing, or yeah, there's just a lot of really dull jump scares in this movie. But yeah, anyways, I don't want to clog up the runtime of this review talking about jump scares, but there is such a thing as good jump scares. It's just that this movie does not have it. So yeah, what else is there? Oh yeah, there is a great eerie soundtrack to this movie. The soundtrack to this movie, it is at points there is a good there is a good suspense. There is a good suspense and eerie sound to the music in this movie. So so props to the music composer. This movie does have a great score. There are some eerie shots of Charlie in the background, staring at a main character, or walking past something and then disappearing and then appearing on the other end of the glass. There were a few scenes of those which were effective, which that was something I felt the first movie did really well, of having Charlie kind of having him in the background, and that's what made him scary, is that the characters didn't notice him, but us as the audience, we saw Charlie, and if he was more as as a boogeyman, background figure, in the first movie. And so there are some there are some eerie shots of him in this movie. There weren't as many as I remember there being. I remember watching this movie back in 2019. And I remember there being like a lot more I remember there being like a lot more like eerie scenes of Charlie in the background. But you're watching it this viewing, there's maybe like four at the very most. So yeah, there's not as many as I remember there being. Maybe less. But yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I've already talked about that. The horrible jump scare of Cade's death. Charlie jumps in front of frame. Man, what an awful, awful jump scare. Okay, so the lighting. So the lighting in the first movie, it was very dark, and it was more the camera was lighting what directions the characters were moving, which you would expect from a film footage movie. Like you wouldn't expect a film footage movie to be overly lit, since it's all kind of from the characters' perspectives and it's them holding the camera the entire time. They more use the modes, they more use the camera's light and camera setting modes. For the light, they use a thing called what is it? Dark mode, I think it's called, where the screen is all green. And then in this movie actually has professional lighting, and that is actually a big positive in this movie, because there are scenes where the lighting, it highlights the object that the scene is focusing on. There is a scene where the stepsister was I think she was getting a band-aid, or she was getting something from the first aid kit, and there's this red lighting highlighting this statue in the background that starts to move, closer and closer to her, and then she jumps back, and then she walks towards her. And then she walks towards the statue, and she takes off the cloth that is covering its face to find out that it's I don't know, I don't know what it is. It's this creature with sharp teeth. I don't know if there's a name for it. I don't know if there's a name for it or not, but yeah, that was something I really liked, because in a way the lighting was a character in highlighting the main object that the scene is focusing on. And just the overall lighting of the movie, I really liked. So yeah, no problems there. So now the tie into the ending of the first Gallows, where the police found Charlie's daughter. Okay, so Cade, he goes on the sneaky hangman site, and he finds all this information about Charlie's daughter, and the camera zooms in on this important piece of information, saying that she's locked up in a mental institution. So Cade calls Anna, saying I know where Charlie's daughter is. We should go. She might be able to help us, and all of that. And so they go to this hospital to see Charlie's daughter, and which she was only briefly seen at the end of the first one. In the sequel, she has a more speaking role. She has a big role in this movie. She's in it for one sequence, and then that's really about it. So that they go to see her, and they're talking about there's a sacrifice that needs to be done. You need to give up someone's life to get rid of Charlie. that's the only way that you can get rid of Charlie, because there's all these other videos and these other, I guess, victims that have fallen into the Charlie challenge, where they aren't even sure what to do. Like, they aren't sleeping well, they're where like that they aren't eating well, like they have completely lost it, like they aren't like they're not sure on anything. And there's this live stream that's going on of this of one of the victims, about to hang herself, and so Anna messages her saying don't, you don't need to do this. And then there's this really nice, I guess, back and forth conversation of Anna trying to help her, saying like, I am having the same problem as you are, like I did the Charlie challenge, and it's like, I am dealing with similar issues you are, like, why don't we meet up and talk, maybe we can help each other, and all of that. And so like that would be good. And like Charlie's like in the background, looking at like this, looking at this girl who's streaming. And then Anna like sees like Charlie in the background, and she messages like her as quickly as possible, saying look out, Charlie's in the background, and all of that. And then the camera, like, it blacks out. It's a black screen for a few minutes, and then what happens after that? And I remember when and then Anna's computer goes flat, and so she starts like running around the library, and everybody's thinking that like she's out of her mind, and she's shouting and all that, and so she grabs someone's charger to charge her computer, and she seemed fine, and then her face like comes towards the camera, and like, I guess, and destroys the webcam, and so the live stream goes offline. Quickly talk about Charlie, because I don't really have many points on here like talking about Charlie. Like, a lot of my points more have to do with like the actual like overall story of the movie, and like in characters, and the most interesting parts of the movie. And I wrote like a little things about like Charlie, about like the background shots and all that, but I haven't really, I guess, talked about Charlie as a character. This movie does have a bigger budget than the first film, which does allow some more, I guess, creative control over what these directors at how they decide to showcase characters, and so like you see a lot more of Charlie in this one. You see him a lot more in full form, in full form in this one than you did in the first movie. And so and I guess there is more of a story to Charlie in this one. And like, I read an interview with the directors of the Gallows Act 2, and they said that this isn't like that. This is more of an expanded universe than a direct sequel, which when you watch it, like, Charlie has more gone on to like haunt like other people, and it's like like Charlie, he's in a way he has gone more worldwide now, especially since the Charlie challenge. It's like it's a well-known thing. The costume design for Charlie, I think, looks really good. So yeah, props to the costume designers of the first movie and the second movie. I'm not sure if the costume designers for Act 2 are the same that worked on the first movie. But if they are, double props. But if not, like, like props to you guys because it's like it is a really creepy look and and the way they light Charlie in certain scenes is really good. Like there is a scene when like Charlie is behind a curtain and is behind a curtain and what happens and so and then when she pulls pulls the curtain away like Charlie is no longer there and then and then the sheet is I'm not sure if it was a curtain or a sheet I think it was a curtain. Yeah, yeah for this review, I'm going to say curtain, but yeah, like the curtain like flies in the air and it lands on Charlie, which who you can't see. So like yeah, I really like that how in a way like Charlie, I guess he can take on different forms. But then also speaking of that, there are a lot of scenes in this movie where, like, there's a scene when the stepsister like tears up the Gallows book, and then a few minutes later, like the book reappears like in her bag, and there's just like a lot of scenes where like she grabs items and we don't actually see her grabbing them and like which like and it's in her hand which like it does make sense since Charlie like he is a supernatural figure which he would have that ability to do that so like it does make sense but I just felt like for some scenes, for some sequences in this movie, the execution of it wasn't that good. But like there is that reasoning, but like it's just I felt like the movie it does over rely on that. Um, but yeah, the lighting and the way the movie decides to like showcase Charlie, I thought was really good. I liked how they had the budget to like I guess to show more of Charlie in this movie than the first. So yeah, I like that. What is this? Um, okay, so yeah, Charlie he has a cult following. Um, he has a cult following, and you see them at the end of the movie, like to watch the sacrifice that is going down. And so, Cade and Anna, like they both get hung. Um, and and then you see Cade. Cade is still alive. And so like at this point, like you are like, what is going on? Like how is he alive? And so and then you see him walk over towards his GoPro that was attached to the tree, and saying I am almost famous 99, which when I first saw that ending, like like a few minutes ago when I got done watching this movie, I wasn't sure what to think of that. I was just like, wait, what? But then looking back at the movie, it does kind of make sense when Anna is getting all these messages. Like, Kate is nowhere to be seen. I want to say I still prefer the first movie just a little bit more. Um, because I enjoyed the film footage aspect of that movie and I thought it worked really well as a film footage movie and while I will say the cinematography in this it is much better it's not as shaky and it's all like focused and shot like a Hollywood horror film would be. I do love that approach, and I think it does work for a sequel, in particular. Um, and since a lot of people they weren't sold on the found footage as the found footage format in the first movie. So like I can see some people enjoying Act Two a little bit more, but it is I don't know like I remember liking the Gallows Act 2 back in 2019 a lot more than the first movie, but now I am not sure. I'm not sure. Like I like both these movies, like probably like equally. Maybe the first one is just a bit better than the second movie. But yeah, like that might just be my opinion. I have to do like a double feature and watch the Gallows and the Gallows Act 2 and actually look at exactly what I liked in both of them. I feel like Act 2 does have a little more like negatives to what the first one did for me. But yeah, I won't say which one's my favorite, but yeah, like I do like both of these Gallo movies. The second one wasn't as entertaining to me as the first one was, which I'm sure a lot of people might disagree on that. Um, yeah, which yeah, that is okay. We're all like free to opinion here. But yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to watch the Gallows and the Gallows Act 2 like back to back to actually like see which one like I prefer like more likely to watch. So, anyways, guys, yeah, that is my completed Gallows series of reviews. This has been fun to actually like revisit the Gallow movies, especially Act Two, since I haven't seen this in like since 2019 when it came out. It was good to actually go back and watch this. But yeah. Anyways, guys, let me know down in the comments. Have you seen the Gallows Act 2? What did you think of it? Did you like it? Did you think it was meh? Or did you really not like it? Let me know all your thoughts and comments in the comment section down below. So, anyways, guys, I hope you have a good rest of your day, evening, or night, wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next video. Alright, bye.